Boss talk, yeah, everybody on it. Boss talk, it's a unique hustle.
Check it. It's Unique Hustle. It's your boy ECO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing, official Miss Jamaica. What's going on?
Nothing, you know, my dad walk on. But I want y'all to stop what y'all doing right now. I want y'all to click that like button, that subscribe button, and that follow. And check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it. We're on there. But if you want to see our full-length interviews before anybody else see any of the content, check out our Patreon channel and also our YouTube channel membership. So subscribe for our membership and you'll see it before everybody sees it.
Man.
All right, thank you in advance.
Man, we got a guy on here, y'all. He don't need no introduction, man. He come by way of Mississippi, man.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Playing no games, man. He got a podcast. So we're going to get into all that, man. This guy right here, man, HeartBeatz is in the building. One of the coldest producers, beat makers, engineering guys you ever want to run into, man.
You ain't got a heartbeat, you ain't breathing.
Man.
That's fact.
What's going on, brother?
Same thing, different day, bro.
This Boss Talk 101, man.
Blessed to be in Dallas, man.
Say, man. Welcome to Dallas, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's going down.
And ma'am. Yes, sir, and ma'am.
I got to ask you, what is the halo over the heroes for?
Both of my logos are positive stuff, right? So I feel like, you know how people like kill them all records, not, I don't know if there's an actual kill them all records, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No shot to them, but
okay.
I just feel like, you know, heroes is saving people's career. Like maybe not saving people's career, but let's say you were trying to find some good beats, and you just wasn't hidden. Come holler at the heroes. You feel what I'm saying? They gonna save you. So that's basically what that is.
Okay, I got it.
And
I like it.
Just, all my beats come from the heart.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So before we get into how you started it and all of that, I want you to tell me, what was it like growing up? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I got 2 sisters and a little brother.
And a little brother. So you were really like big brother to everybody then?
Nah.
No?
I mean, I was next to the youngest.
Yeah, like how far apart were you?
Well, my sister's a year older than me, and then my other sister like 6 years older than me.
But being the first boy, you know, first boys are usually be like, they act like they even the oldest, even although they're not the oldest one, but because you're the boy.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's the reason why I was like, you're like the big brother.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Well, maybe to my little brother, but my sisters and them, I don't know, they was just.
Oh, they manhandle you.
Man, nah, they ain't manhandle me. They manhandle other people. Okay. So they didn't need that. I ain't gonna lie, but I done seen my sister, both my sisters jump a dude with 2x4s, bro.
No.
Sit them in the hospital.
Really?
Yeah, my sisters want them to play
They
with
don't
me.
play?
Yeah. Man,
wow.
Shout out to my sisters, man. One of them's a scientist now. She's a...
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she's I don't want to say it wrong. She's a oceanographer, a marine scientist.
Oh,
but
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She actually got paid to get a master's degree.
Marine biologist.
Yeah.
Is that what she is?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, she got paid to get a master's degree. Like, she's super smart. Like,
what city she live in?
New Orleans.
New Orleans? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, shout out to my other sister. She, she just a family woman. Raised all of her kids. She got 2 more to cross that line at, the graduation. But one of my nephew, he plays football for Ole Miss.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, his name is DJ Ruff. Oh yeah, he's super good.
What position?
He tight end. He got a full year full ride. Full ride.
Wow.
4-year scholarship. He's super good though.
That's cool. So were y'all raised by mom and dad in the household, or? Man,
I ain't gonna lie. My childhood is like a puzzle, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Why?
All right, I'm from Oregon, but
wait a minute. You say you from Oregon or are you from Mississippi?
I'm from Oregon. I moved to Mississippi at 11.
Okay.
I really didn't move. I got sent down here. So a lot of stuff was going on in Oregon before I was 11.
You got sent?
Yes, I got sent down here.
So hold on. Who were you living with in Oregon? Let's put the puzzles together.
My mom.
Not your dad?
Nah, my dad was gone. My mom got remarried to a guy.
Okay.
My pops was gone for I ain't know where he was for 3 years.
But you knew your dad? Yeah,
I knew my pops. They was married at first, and my pops used to beat me a lot, so she ended up divorcing him because of that.
Why did he just beat you?
Because I was the boy.
You the only boy?
Were you bad?
Yeah, but it was kind of like my conditions. You know what I'm saying? Let's think about it, I'm 3. I remember one time at 3 years old, I got beat going down the stairs. he whooped me the whole way while I'm falling downstairs to the point where
at 3.
Yeah, like,
I've been through the same thing
for playing with his walkie-talkie thing. Like my daddy was.
My dad was strict too, so I get it.
I went to school the next day. They took us clean out, like, and we foster home and shit after that. Yeah. So like, she ended up leaving my pops. She got remarried to a guy that eventually ended up getting drunk, kidnapping her, holding her hostage in my grandma's house.
And this happened in
Oregon. Yeah. And,
so how old were you when she divorced your dad?
11. They was married. I was probably like 7, 8.
7, 8.
Something
Okay.
like that.
Did you ever see him beat on your mom too, or
He would never.
He would just hit you.
Yeah. My dad had a drinking problem back then. Me and my dad like best of friends now.
Now, yeah.
Back then he had a drinking problem, and I guess whenever they separated, like it reflected, on him. Because when we came back, like when we got sent down here back to him.
So he was down here.
Yeah, when we got sent back down here to Mississippi, he was a whole different person. Like, like if we got a whipping in, it's gonna be later on in the day when he not mad no more, and it's gonna be right on our butt. We gotta stand in front of him. He gonna, hit us right on our butt each time.
So he recognized he made a mistake.
Fact.
So the reason why you got sent down, okay, so go back to she got kidnapped.
That's ultimately why I got sent down here. My mom was kidnapped by her
husband.
They could look it up. She was about to divorce him, and they were separated. As far as living, we had our own house, and one day he came at like 2 o'clock in the morning while we was all asleep, and he come and kidnap her and bring her to my grandma's house. It was like maybe 40, 50 miles away from us, and because she owned a lot of property on a mountain, so they went.
And that's her mom.
It's her mom.
Okay.
That's my mom was adopted at birth, so that's her adopted mom.
Okay.
Yeah. But he held a hostage out in her barn until like 6 or 7 that morning, something like that. By that time, my grandma had called the police. They had the building surrounded.
Because she was there.
She was there, and she ended up. I don't know how she ended up getting away. She ended up fooling him, kind of getting away, and he ended up going out to chase her, and the building was surrounded by all the police.
He got shot.
Yeah, the negotiator. He had pointed the gun at the negotiator, but then he turned around and put the gun in his mouth, and that's when the police shot him like 7 times and killed him, like right there in front of my mom and everybody. So like,
but he was already about to kill himself.
That's what I said. Yeah, so that kind of made me like, I ain't gonna lie, cause he was a cool pops to me. He was a social worker, had bread, like he was
good
cool.
Dude.
He was a cool step pops. I
But
never
he
seen that side of
loved
him.
your mom. He didn't want so. No, I ain't gonna get into that.
It was crazy. So it kind of made me like, man, I was in and out of like juvenile little homes for boys, mental institutions, like
because
foster care. All the
mind.
kids end up going to foster care. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so my mom ended up going crazy. Like, and she straightened out. Like,
did y'all ever the kids had to split up like when y'all went into foster care? Because sometimes they keep them together.
I went to a horrible foster home.
What happened?
It's just the foster parents, like they were just they were super old for one. They were mean. It's like they only just wanted kind of like a little somebody to clean up around the house type.
Okay.
Like my Cheerios, they used to put orange juice in it because they didn't eat milk, so I got to eat Cheerios and orange
with
juice.
Orange juice.
You feel me? My sister and my brother, my older sister, she was old enough to live with my mama.
Okay.
But my younger sister, the ones that's closer to my age, and my brother, they went to a foster home with horses and like loving parents, and like they still cool to this day right now, and they had
but you just
property,
had the luck of the draw,
and they had each other. I'm over there way on the other side of town with these old folks. I don't even know who they is. Like that's how much of they didn't have no impact in my life. You feel what I'm saying? My brother and them still cool with the other lady. You feel me? But
that's a part. Hey man, that's your story, man, and what it does, it molds you into who you are today,
Facts.
whether you like it or not.
Facts.
And you seem like you turned out pretty good to me. You turned out great. So how did you end up on that piano, man? Let's talk about that.
That house that they were at with the barn,
Your grandma
house, she had a piano on the pool table.
Okay.
And I taught myself how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star one
You
time
taught
when I was
yourself.
6. I was, and I was like, dang, I taught myself how to do that. So I used to go over there. She'll show me how to play a couple of things, but when I went to my grandma's house, that's what I would go to, is the piano and the pool table. Like, I'm super good at pool, too.
Come on, bro.
Super good at pool. Yeah, trick shot champion type.
This nigga right here, y'all. Y'all heard that, y'all. Don't believe the hype till
Man, you better go to my Instagram page. You gonna see shots you ain't never seen in life.
See if this nigga really get down like that, man.
I'm trying to tell you.
Say, all them trick shots ain't gonna get you nowhere. All them trick shots, you gonna have to leave them behind.
I ain't never been without a pool table.
Oh, yeah? All your life?
I ain't never been. When we moved from Oregon to Mississippi, it was a lady who had, I forgot her name, she had like a little, you can go buy some food or something like that in there, and right in the projects, and it was a pool table in there. So that's what me and my homeboy go play pool over there all the time.
Have you ever lost?
Hell yeah, you done lost. You right?
Okay.
Yeah, you done lost. You play a lot, you gonna lose.
I'm super good at pool, like real good. Like
you be gambling?
Nah.
Yeah,
because them niggas be ready to kill me, bro. I'm real good at pool, bro. Like, for real.
So the piano thing, like, that was your first stroke of the draw when it came to the music, man. Like, did you know at that point that you wanted to do music, or did you kind of bump into it later on?
What I knew then is that somebody all over the world was gonna know me. I didn't know what for, but I knew that. Like, even back then when I was a little kid, you know, and right now, fast forward, I get people hit me up from Africa, Russia, all over the place, Canada, everywhere, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know I was going to be a producer. When I moved down here from Oregon, my dad bought me a keyboard, and so I ended up playing it till I got good enough to play for a church. And I started playing for the church, and I ended up making a beat on the church keyboard, and my cousin was home from for the All-Star weekend. Jonathan Bender, he got drafted out of high school. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah, I definitely, when I was looking you up, I seen that, and you and him pretty close.
Yeah, that's who got me started on the music.
Yeah.
So I ended up bringing the keyboard home to my grandma's house. That's where I was living, and he was there visiting for All-Star weekend, and I played the beat for him. He was like, "Man, you made that?" I was like, "Man, I'm finna start a record label." He said, "You gonna be my beat man." And he really did start the record label. And KLC was his beat man.
Really? KLC was?
KLC
that's
was
a big move. So he basically...
Well, that's who would mix and record most of our music until he got Crack Tracks. I don't know if you ever heard of him. His name Law. He with Rock Nation now. But that's who I was shadowing up under him and a guy named IG, which ATL Jacob is signed to him now.
Okay.
So fast forward, I'm shadowing up under producers.
Nice producers.
Went on to be.
Not no shabby producer.
And then Mack Maine. I was living with Mack Maine. So these guys.
You living with Mack Maine?
Before all the Young Money stuff, all this stuff.
How did you meet him?
My cousin in the NBA, Mack Maine had a little song on the radio in New Orleans. He was gonna sign him to his label, but I think Mack Maine wanted like $100 grand. He knew my cousin had it. He from New Orleans, you know. He was a little smart on the business sense. We from Picayune. I'm finna try to get 100 bands out of him. I got a song on the radio. My cousin didn't want to do it, but during that whole incubator stage, he was doing music with us and stuff. He was living in my cousin's condo with me. Like,
Mack Maine, I met him one night at the Palms Hotel. I never forget it. We talked and chopped it up.
Number.
Did you?
He been had the same number like 20 years. He just changed the number.
Why would he do that after having it so long?
I'm pretty sure he had other numbers, but like if you had that number, you was able to contact up until probably about 2-3 months ago. Yeah.
You got the new number.
Nah, I ain't got the new number. I ain't even asking for the new number. Yeah, that's my boy, but I ain't asking for the new number or nothing like that.
He can reach him if he needs to reach him.
I mean, I'll just inbox him. Most of the time, we just talk on Instagram through the inbox. Yeah, up until he changed the number. He had a Miami number back the last time I had went to Miami and pulled up on him, but I ain't had.
So you seen him when he went to Young Money and all that stuff happened. What was were you proud of him when he went to Young Money?
It was one of the most inspiring things because it's somebody I know. Like I used to live with you, bro. We pulled up to Xavier University in one of my cousin's cars every day. Like that was our everyday thing.
Yeah.
My cousin in Indiana, he had 14 cars in the mansion next door. I got the keys to the mansion. With all the cars, you feel me? Sorry, cuz you probably didn't never know.
No, go put it
you feel what I'm saying? We just grabbing a car, going to Xavier, and that's what Mack Maine would go over there and rap. And like he'll just start freestyling, and everybody crowd around us, bro. Like
he was that good.
What? He the only one rapping. Everybody just standing around, just listening to him rap, bro. Everybody, I'm seeing like that's my boy.
Yeah, your boy.
But he would have me around like all the like Super Blanca, Jay Gutter, all them that Wayne had signed. Yeah. It was his real partners and stuff. They shooting basketball and stuff. I didn't know at the time. Like, actually, you couldn't own it at the time because they didn't
formulate yet.
Yeah, they hadn't formulated yet.
So when you see them formulate, and I'm not gonna go into too much detail on it, but when you see him make that move, did you feel like he got a good deal on the move when he made it? Because he became the president of it.
But he was just so smart. Like, I learned a lot of stuff from Mack Maine just the little time we was, you know what I'm saying, live together just on as far as the business sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have signed to this NBA player and had we had everything. We had all the chains, we had all the cars, we had everything. From the looks, it would have been it. But he knew, like, you feel what he knew something else. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he could have went a whole different direction. You feel what I'm saying?
He knew something greater.
You feel me? But
he felt something.
Yeah, that it was just crazy to see. I remember going and visiting him, and after I had moved back from New Orleans, I had moved to Mississippi, and I went back and visited him in New Orleans, and he had like a Magnum on some 24s, 22s or something, and he had another car on some 22s or something, and he was living in an apartment. Now, back when I was living with him, he had a busted up Chevy Tahoe. He remember that black Tahoe, but he used to get them A to B. You get those both A to B. But anyway,
yeah.
So then I walked in his apartment. He got a little fish tank with the little fish that hit each other in their head and stuff.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, you know, you come up. That's when he told me, he was like, yeah, you know, I just started fooling with. It wasn't even Young Money back then. It was I think it was Squad or something like that. Squad Up or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
It could have been Young Money, but it could have been like the very beginning stages of it. And I'm like, I congratulate, because Wayne was already like one of the biggest stars on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So you know whatever he got going on finna be huge too.
It'll be huge. And that was that was the peak of it.
Yeah, just from there, just seeing it just go crazy. And I'm watching him on 106 Park. I'm watching him. Like, bro, I was just living with
How much did that inspire your drive?
100%. I done been around a lot of people that end up blowing, and each time, like, even the JayDaYoungan situation, like, I met him with 2,000 followers. I had 5,000. So to see you go to 3 million, it just lets me know, like, man, you just got to keep going, and eventually you're going to have whatever you trying to
But that's so funny that you said that, because I know a lot of people in that shoe would have been like, why is everybody around me going, but I'm not going at that point, at that time?
Did you ever get that?
Did you ever feel that?
Nah, I knew about timing. It's something that's always been preached to me from day one. You know, when it's your time, it's your time.
That's good.
And then another thing, like, I was producing in Picayune. Like, they didn't have another me at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was that good. So it was like, I was cool with the movement. I was, and like, I wasn't getting my just due. I knew I had to grow it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I would have blew up back then, it would have been a whole different story. I'm young. I probably did stupider stuff with the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, when JayDaYoungan blew up, I went and got everything I'm supposed to have. You feel what I'm saying? Like, crib, cars, wives, everything. Like,
Let's talk about JayDaYoungan, man. Like. I heard you say in another interview that his work ethic was like on a whole nother level. What was it that? How did you guys end up just even coming together? He just found you because you was doing music already.
His older cousins. I used to record his older cousins. I told you, it's my third generation.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been doing it 22 years. Once I hit 30, that's 3 generations.
Man.
So I'm into my third generation right now, and his older cousins used to record in my studio, and I had set him up a studio at his spot. Like, I gave him the template. I told him everything to go buy and stuff like that. So once JayDaYoungan started growing up, he would record by his cousin's house because they had the best studio. You see what I'm saying? Because I set him up right. So one time JayDaYoungan was doing a mixtape with Scotty Kane, and they called me to engineer it because they wanted, Scotty Kane was a little bit more advanced. They wanted a real engineer, and his cousin, the rap that recorded him, can't really record like me, but he can get the job done. Shout out to Booner, that's his name anyway. So when I recorded JayDaYoungan for that tape, it was a rap. Like, he didn't want nobody else to record him from that point on. Cause I'm so fast, bro. Like, I record super fast, and it's fast and efficient. And then, like, whatever you thinking of, I'm finna do that already. Cause I done recorded so many artists, like, I know what you thinking already. 9 times out of 10, you feel me? And I was just, it's like if you get stuck, I write too. So I could throw you a line, you ain't stuck no more. You feel what I'm saying? What
was the first song that went crazy stupid for JayDaYoungan and you that you produced? That you knew, like, this is crazy?
I didn't know it, but Mud Brothers.
Okay.
At the time, I think the track I did for BG or Pimp C had the most views.
There you go. Just stop right there.
You said the magic word.
Anytime you say Pimp C in here, bro, you can just shut it down right there. We got to stop and talk about Pimp C every time. Nothing else really matters at that point for me. You could say it's like you're going blah 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 blah. So let's talk about Pimp. That's hard right there. For you to be done rocked out with Pimp, work with Pimp. What song?
I'm my third generation.
Me and
True
Steve,
Story.
Steve beat True Story. That was
True
you.
Story, little bitch. Yeah, that's me.
Man.
I produced it. I was so long ago, I didn't even have a tag. HeartBeatz on the track didn't even exist. They called me OJ, matter of fact, back then.
Oh, yeah? So True Story, you produced that.
Yep.
That's hard, man.
Yep. I produced that whole True Story album, actually.
How was it working with Pimp?
Did you work with him face to face?
Yeah, I ain't never recorded Pimp C. I've been on stage with Pimp C while he performed my song though. That was dope.
That was hard.
Okay.
Hattiesburg. Yeah.
What city was that? Hattiesburg.
He performed for the Q.
He knew you.
Yeah, I was on stage with them. Yeah, I was on, they performed my song. He knew me for sure. The last thing Pimp C ever told me was this a release party, and he put his arm around me and told me, whenever I start using live instruments, I'm out of here.
Wow.
He said, when you start using them, like, I love your beats. He said, but when you start using them live instruments, he said, you gone.
And that was true.
I mean, could be.
Was that what set you? Was that what set you apart once you started doing that?
No, because he know he got the technology, right? It's a technology-driven thing.
Isn't a piano a live instrument?
It is.
Yes.
And I use a lot of piano.
But you already were using the piano.
Yeah, facts.
Right.
Facts.
I'm just thinking about how technology is, bro. I get it.
I do have a couple of people that come in and, like, you know, play the guitars and stuff for me like that, and I make the beat around them and stuff like that. But, you know, Pimp C was a big real live instrument fan. You know. How that whole situation ended up coming about, though, I had a partner down there named 17 that was signed to him a long time ago. Y'all probably know 17. It went viral all kind of time. But anyway, I produced that whole Pimp C Presents 17. I produced that whole album. Yeah. Pimp C only did 2 Pimp C Presents, Boosie and Webby, and 17.
Man, and that was live. Yeah. 17 actually was a dope artist. I heard some of his stuff. He was a dope artist. You know, just a litany of things that Pimp had his hand in. Pimp had his hand in, I was watching, you know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so he came down there. He would come, I think they did an album release party in Mississippi. Pimp C came down there. He came and met the whole family and all that stuff. I didn't go to that, but I do remember everybody, you know,
talking about
right
it.
Before the show. I went to the show that was right after the meet and greet. I always be late, you feel me? Yeah, but that's what Pimp C told me that.
Was Pimp like, I guess when you knew that he had linked with 17, was that big for the city or?
Huge.
It was huge. Everybody knew.
It was crazy how it even happened. We in the studio. I had just met 17. He had paid me for an album, for some beats. He paid me for all the beats up front, and then left for like a year and didn't pick out no beats. And said, I'll be back to pick out my beats. I ain't seen him no more for a year.
Whole year.
A year.
That's crazy.
He came back a year later. All right, I'm ready to pick him out. So he picked out all the beats. He came to the studio. We in the studio session, and somebody asked him, man, who you know, have you want to do a song with? And he was like, man, I always want to do something with Pimp C, because he had just bought a Yo Gotti verse. I produced that.
So you playing with some paper?
Yeah, he was like $250,000 up at the time.
That's hard.
You feel me? He had just bought a Pastor Troy verse, a Bohagen verse. I produced all of them. He really helped me out. That was early on in my career. And then he said he wanted to work with Pimp C, and there was a guy named Mon in our studio session. He had a camera, and Mon, he owned a clothing store in Gulfport. He was like, Mossport, I'm sorry. He said, man, Pimp C was just at my clothing store last week because he had just performed on the coast. He was like, I got his number. 17 said, call him. He called him. 17 walked outside. He came back in. He told me in Iceberg, he said, I need 2 beats. He said, I'm finna go to Texas tomorrow. I'm finna go do 2 songs with him. And we made True Story on spot. Iceberg put a couple signs in there too. And then he took another beat that I had made, and Pimp C ended up getting on both of the beats. The other one was Keith Sweat. I don't know if you ever heard that one.
Hadn't heard it. But that's hard to listen, man.
But look, listen, let me tell you.
Go ahead.
So 17 walked out the studio. He came back and said, I needed 2 beats. He flew back. He flew to Texas the next day, did a song with him. He charged $14,000 for the verse.
Wow.
From what 17 tell me, I don't know. He said he ended up giving him most of the money back and just signing him to UGK. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and doing the project with him.
That's hard, man. Like I said, that's a hard story, man. For you to have your fingers all in it, you was all up in that. I never would have knew that, man.
Third generation.
Man, I think that's live.
He's so young.
Trey the Truth.
Trey the Truth?
Yeah, somebody.
He on the wall up there with me.
A guy named Smokey Loco had bought a verse from him, and that was my first time hearing an industry artist on my beat.
Was Trey?
Trey the Truth.
How did it sound? Did you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
That nigga gonna go in.
I heard of him before, you know what I'm saying? But then, like, bro was bragging on, because bro from Texas, the guy who he did the song.
He knew it was gonna be fire.
Man, what?
Man, Trey got a low tempo but hard. You know, it's kind of just a crisp. You know what I'm talking? It's a grainy but that whole gonna go.
And he still got fans out here. Like,
oh, come on, man! Shit, man. Trey really, you know, he had his situations this year, or last year. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. When you don't put the work in, them guys done put in down there in Houston, man. It's hard to get around that, man. That's history and legacy. Right. And they don't really need nobody. They already self-made, you know what I mean? Right. And that's what I love about them.
They came in at a good time, too.
Oh, yeah. They respected, too, for what they accomplished. And they different. You can't take away their difference.
Right. Let me ask you a question. So, okay, because I know artist is different, but with producer, like all of the old beats that you've done back in the days when you first started and stuff like that, do you ever still like listening to those? Because, you know, as people grow and you change, they usually hate.
You in Mississippi, man. You know,
because you've grown so much from it.
I do know Crit. Crit used to, Big Crit used to be.
I'm sorry,
Facebook
baby.
friend.
Big Crit, my boy.
He blew up and he unfriended.
He blocked you?
Nah, he ain't blocked me. He just unfriended me.
He switched up.
I looked at him one time and said, we ain't friends on here no more. Cause I met him at the SEL Awards.
Okay.
Bro, I still got the picture right now. I didn't know who they was. I'm the guy in there with the chain.
You in that whole dark it up.
And they came ask me to take a picture. I got the picture and you tagged me on Facebook. I still got the screenshot of the tag and everything.
And then I think
he blew up.
He changed up.
Yeah, he don't know me no more.
Damn.
But that's how it be though. You know, I ain't hating on him. I'm proud of him.
He probably got a lot of stuff going on.
I'm proud of him, man.
It's our people, man.
It's just because, you know, you want to keep the numbers down too at the same time. You feel me? Like a lot of people don't like to have their follower count up. You know, me and him didn't have like a personal relationship.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, linked up at the SEL Awards before he blew up, and that was like the extent of it. But
did you like his music?
Loved it. Yeah.
What did you like most about it? Because he say he get that Texas sound, that Houston sound. He give it much respect.
What I like about it, probably his delivery.
Yeah.
Like the way he delivers his songs. You know what I'm saying? Like he depicts his words very well. Make sure that you can hear everything he's saying, and he always has a message. Like always has some type of message behind and stuff. Wait
a minute. I don't forget nothing, man. Oh, Rich Boy, man. Where is he from? He from down there?
Alabama.
Okay. He over there with Brett when it came in.
Yeah, I remember Rich Boy.
Yeah, I seen a lot of stuff lately about him. It look crazy.
I seen that too. I got a couple of mutual friends.
Yeah, and I don't know how I like to. Man, I definitely would like to talk to him.
Yeah, just prayers up to him.
Prayers up, man, for real. Anytime somebody going through it, man, you know, because everybody can bounce back. Shout out to JayDaYoungan, man, where he at? I ain't seen him lately. There's a couple of them out there.
Man, you got to think about it though, man. Like
that's pressure.
I just talked to my partner yesterday about basketball. Like he was a very good athlete and didn't make it to the NBA. And I was just asking him, like,
how did it affect you?
Does that mess with you mentally? And I'm pretty sure music does the same thing. Just imagine, all right, you have a hit song,
a big song,
and they give you 2-3 million, and you just fly through that because you 19 or 20. You know that by the time you 22, 23, you're gonna have another huge song. But sometimes
the next one don't come.
You feel what I'm saying? And it's just like now you got the pressure of everybody coming up to you, asking you this stuff all the time. I can't even step out the house without people bringing that up. And it's just like it can be easy.
But one thing with a huge song, I've met people who've only had one huge song. They still even, especially if it's legendary, they still even get booked to go perform that one song.
You got to be mentally.
That's a mega hit.
Right.
A mega hit.
But Rich Boy song was hard, nigga. You remember when that first came out?
I do remember when it first came out. We do, but ask your kids.
Oh, they ain't gonna know nothing
You see
about
what I'm
that.
saying?
Hell
But-
no.
Not unless it comes on TikTok.
But ask your kids if they heard Chopper Style.
Yeah,
Everybody know Chopper Style.
Yeah.
Still right now, I still be seeing reels right now. Chopper Style. This song 20 years old.
What keeps a lot of these songs alive, the old songs, to me, is TikTok, because they bring
Yeah.
it right back in one. Because when my child tell me she knows certain songs, I say, how you TikTok? They did a reel on there,
Yeah.
and that's the only reason she knows. She don't know the whole song. She just know that part that they clip and put in
Facts.
there.
Facts.
That's about it.
So I remember the City Girls did that with Chopper Style song.
Yeah, they did.
But I'm just saying, like, a mega hit, bro, you still gonna listen to that 20 years later. Like, when it's a mega hit, and those are the ones that still getting booked off that one song.
We'll get back to JayDaYoungan, man, because like I said, he when that happened, it was weird to me how it happened. The night that the time I found out about it, like, where you being so closely knitted to him, kind of how did when you heard about it that he had gotten killed, because he hit the internet fast.
Facts. I tried to hit him up. I just said, tell me you okay. And shit, the message never even delivered.
It never delivered.
No, my partner had called me, Wayne had called me and said, man, check on JayDaYoungan. I heard he just got killed behind my sister's house.
How far is that from you? Where you at?
Hattiesburg? Like 35, 40 minutes away.
Okay.
Something like that. And shit, I called him and he answered, so I just texted him. But we've had people tell us that before. Like, man, JayDaYoungan just got killed. I called and be like, man, let me listen to that shit. I was hoping it was another situation like that.
But was he just in the streets that much?
JayDaYoungan got killed for something that had nothing to do with him. I don't want to say too much online.
Of course.
But it ain't had nothing to do with him. You would think all that stuff would have, caught up to him, but nah. It had nothing to do with him. The reason why they basically killed JayDaYoungan because he was the head of the ship, head of the snake. They said if you cut the head off, the body die. That's basically what it was all for.
Yeah. So you being that because I talked to DJ Chose, and DJ Chose he produced for Fredo Bangs, and he say a lot of times he said it was dangerous being in the studio doing the stuff with him. Did you ever feel that way when you was dealing with JayDaYoungan?
Until I built my new facility, yeah.
You felt that way?
I mean, not really. Not like something gonna happen, because I always keep my studios pretty secure, but I understood it could be a crazy situation happening anytime. One time I was doing a show in my city and I had booked JayDaYoungan and I think it was Ace too. I forgot. But anyway, they kept calling me all day talking about $20,000 of us. It ain't gonna be no show or something like that. Like, we finna pull up over there to that studio because I know he over there. Ain't nobody ever pull up though.
So that was just pump faking.
I'm plugged in with some pretty good people down there. So like.
So the thing you gotta understand is, you guys, how long would you say you and him worked together from start to finish?
2016, 17 to 2022. Yeah.
Wow.
His whole career. When I met him, he had 2,000 followers.
Yeah, you said that, and it's like that was. Do you? And I don't want to see, but do you think you'll ever deal with anybody that scale like that, or move like that ever again in your career?
I don't know, cause it was unheard of what was going on with JayDaYoungan. Like, he took off like a wildfire. Like, it was crazy, bro. Like, I remember I didn't even know he had blown. Like, somebody had to come tell me that. Like, I had let one of my partners ride with me down to Bogalusa to go pick up some money that he owed me. JayDaYoungan owed me for some recording. And when we got back, I guess a couple weeks later, he made a post and was like, I just realized that was JayDaYoungan in the truck with me and HeartBeatz when I rode with him to go pick up some, or rode with him to Bogalusa or whatever. I'm reading the post like, okay, it's just another guy recording my studio. Why are you saying that? Man, that boy said, boy, if you don't know, boy, JayDaYoungan is lit. Boy, he went pulling out showing me all the numbers. Like, his and stuff. So at first I wasn't even making his beats. I'm just recording all his music and mixing it. I wanted to start seeing these numbers. I'm finna practice on these nigga beats for a little while. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, a year later, I showed him a beat finally, and he rapped on it, and that was the song I was telling you earlier, Mud Brothers. He came out, put it on WorldStar, hit 4.4 million views. That was the first time I ever hit
that many views.
Yeah. So JayDaYoungan was different, bro. Like he might have did a lot of stuff, but his passion for music was unmatched, bro. Like he would have stayed in the studio all the time. If I could just work 24 hours, 7 days a week, he wouldn't even left.
He wouldn't even left.
No, after I showed him that beat, his albums prior to that, I didn't have no beats on. His next album after that, I had 14 beats on there. I had got 5 of my Heroes producers on there, and 9 of my own beats on there. That was Forever 23, which is his biggest album to date right now.
Wow.
You know, every album after that, I'll be having like 10 beats on 12 beats. Like every album after that, even the one he just dropped.
It's crazy the stories they tell. Like Double A said the same thing when he dealt with NBA YoungBoy or Kodak Black and how they scale. Like, it's crazy how, you know what I mean? Yeah, how quick you don't know. It's like you just said, like a fire. Just take out, you ain't nothing you could do but just try to figure out how to get in the algorithm.
He first signed with Cinematic. We go out to LA. I'm getting in Ubers, asking people to do it because I think Elimination had just went gold, one of them songs, or Interstate. So I'm asking people, do they know JayDaYoungan? Blah blah blah. You know, I produce with JayDaYoungan. I'm thinking they know him because he hot as firecracker down
in the south. Yeah,
they don't know him.
I agree. I believe that.
We come back a year later. Nobody that I asked didn't know him. Nobody. Like, not one person. Oh, yeah, I know him. Even if they don't know him by name, as soon as I pull up and show them this guy, the hair.
Oh, the hair.
Oh, yeah, I know him. Got 23 Islands home. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
But when when a rapper finds a producer that they love to work with, they usually just stick with that person.
Jay did.
But then, but with a producer, do y'all normally just... Because most producers have a certain sound. Like sometimes some people can listen to a song, not even know who produced it, whatever, and be like, oh, that's just such. Because it's like they have a certain style. Even if you didn't hear the tag.
They definitely do that with mine.
They have a certain style. Yeah. But then if a certain rapper sticks with a producer too long, I mean, they only have that certain style and not switch it up.
I was a little smarter than that. I went and signed Heroes that I knew made other sounds that JayDaYoungan.
Got other beat makers in there.
You see what I'm saying? So like, if he come, I might show him all my beats. He might not be feeling them.
Right.
But I got some of my Heroes beats in the mix too. You see what I'm saying? And he'll choose one of them or whatever. You know.
That's switch up the style.
All of my producers got placements on JayDaYoungan project. Every one of them. I don't have a hero that I haven't had on his project yet.
Wow, that's hard.
I got like 6 producers signed to me, but it's like 30 producers altogether.
That's what I was wondering, how many producers you have.
Nationwide, yeah.
Wow.
Do you think, what do Jonathan think about you when he see you now?
He call me all the time.
What he be saying, like, damn.
He probably was a good investment. I don't know how he feels about, like, Mack Maine being, slipping away from him and stuff like that. But he definitely started some things that, it probably might not even have gotten done if he didn't make it pro. Because when he stopped doing the music, he gave me his studio. So I'm automatically had an A1 studio. You see what I'm saying? Like, just gave me all his equipment.
And that's the studio you have right now?
No.
Of course, I was about to say.
He got the biggest now.
I know, but I didn't know if it like expanded and kept that one and just expanded bigger there.
I started HeartBeatz Studios in 2010, but I think I had been away from him since like 06 or something like that.
I was just asking how proud he is of you to see you.
He loved it.
How you've moved forward.
He loved it, man.
Because he helped plant that seed.
Yeah, he lets that be known all the time, and I let it be known.
As you should.
All the time, yeah, for sure. I remember I moved down here in 1996. He got drafted in 1999. So like when I moved down, I only had to go through like 3 years of the bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? Till he come, he put my whole family on payroll.
Wow.
Oh, my uncles, aunties, everybody, like everybody was getting money per month. You feel me? Like everybody had jobs and stuff that they did.
That's a good write off too.
Damn good write off. Wow.
So,
but why you had that gap? You said 2010 is when you started your HeartBeatz studio, but then you left him in 06. So you had a 4-year gap in between where you weren't at a studio.
Yeah, well,
Why and what happened?
I had moved to Atlanta right after Katrina for like a year, but I had the studio because I had my studio in Picayune. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
So I would come back and forth and stuff like that to come. And matter of fact, I had a travel studio too. So like, it wasn't really a travel studio, but I made it a travel studio. There's a lot of equipment to be
moving around. Yeah,
because when I moved to Atlanta, I didn't have like a whole lot of clients and stuff. I was just going out on a wing and a prayer. I was producing for Tyler Perry brother back then. Tyler Perry had just blew up, like just blew up. So his brother,
you been working.
So his brother was coming with them crispy hunters every time. You feel his name?
His brother
Perry.
rap?
His brother had an artist.
Oh, I had
an R&B artist.
What's his brother name?
Embry Perry.
Yeah.
Embry Perry.
And I ain't seen him since then. Like,
you won't.
He working for him up there.
Yeah, I remember he was telling me Tyler Perry built him a barbershop or something like that, like a brand new one or whatever. Tyler Perry just blew up. Like just blew up. But so
did you know Tyler?
Nah, I ain't know Tyler. But they from New Orleans.
That's
so
what I heard.
The artist that I was producing for was from New Orleans too. But we was all in Atlanta. You feel me? So they'll come buy some beats and stuff like that. But at that time I was coming like I might stay in Atlanta like 2-3 weeks and I come back to Picayune and come to record. Oh, it was a studio called Finish Line Studios. That's what my equipment was.
Oh, okay.
It was in the garage at my partner house. So I come back every now and again, come over there.
Does anybody have, when you said a travel studio, I'm like, does anybody actually have a travel studio that they travel around like the United States and record?
Nowadays it's just a laptop and some headphones and a mic.
No, I'm talking like that's all you need?
I mean, go look at Yo Gotti page right now. They were just recording in his Maybach the other day. I think it was a Maybach. Yesterday, I just seen it.
So you don't have to have like soundproof stuff?
Man, car is some of the best soundproof booth you could.
Really?
If I'm sitting in a car and you sitting on the side of me and I'm talking to you with a normal voice, are you gonna hear anything outside?
No, but if you blasting music, I can hear it. No,
you don't blast the music while they're recording. All they recording is the mic. The music down, you got the headphones on.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? The only thing the car serving is your booth now. You feel me? Because it's like completely soundproof enough.
Man,
okay.
It's about someone got to scream inside the car for you to hear anything.
And you say your studio is the biggest studio right now.
I ain't seen another studio bigger than mine.
How big is it?
I think it's 1,900 square feet, something like that. You gotta come see it.
How many studios you have in there?
5. You just gotta come see it because it looks like it might be a little small outside because you gotta go downhill to the studio, but it's 2 stores. So when they come, they be like, I didn't even know this had a second story on there. But I got a game room in there, I got a podcast room, 5 studios in there, I got a hookah lounge in there, full kitchen, 4 bathrooms. My A-room booth big enough to put a choir in there. Like it's humongous.
Wow. Yeah. I heard you say about your producers. Who is the one that's making the most noise? The ones who producing these beats that's working that's working with Hero.
Out of mine?
Yeah.
Twisted Genius.
Twisted 10?
Yeah, Twisted Genius. Like
Twisted Genius.
You ever heard of Twisted Genius?
Never heard of it.
That's one of the biggest producers in the world. But yeah, he a hero too. I ain't gonna say he under me. Like we just a team. You know what I'm saying? Like
I kind of say partnership.
Right. Yeah, it's Twisted Genius been a hero before. Like he signed a QC now. He did the whole Something to Prove album.
Really?
Yeah, he did Something to Prove that song. He did the Forever Scarred. He did the single with him and Wayne on that album, and the one with him and Future on that album. Like he produced, he signed one of the biggest publishing deals. But yeah,
who would be next?
Probably Laco. Laco got a lot of placements on Key Glock. Him and Joey, both of them. They locked in good with Key Glock and another artist over there, QC. I forgot his name. Trill making a lot of noise in Louisiana. Like he producing for all the up and coming artists. Is like I ain't talking about like just independent. I'm talking about like getting the 200,000 and 300,000 like that stage. Like he producing everybody go to him.
How do these guys run into you? Like do they feel like if I'm gonna join that group, or do you reach out to them, or it just happens some kind of way organically?
Yeah, this happened organically. At the time, I was seeking producers. for JayDaYoungan. It was really awesome. You know, I knew what we actually needed. You know what I'm saying? And you need that beat team and that originality and stuff to stand out. And JayDaYoungan, he rapped so much, bro. Like I knew I couldn't do it by myself. Like I had.
He stays in the studio.
Yeah, man. Like we got probably 1,000 songs right now.
I want to talk to you about that because the last one you say y'all made was "Goodbye," which is ironically something that kind of matches. It's kind of like the Mo3 Outside song when he left, and you know, it's like the universe knows. You know what I mean? So
he was doing a lot of it.
Like, why that sound? But "Goodbye," you know what I mean?
No, I'm talking about he was doing a lot of like prophesizing his. You
know, like prophesying death, like Tupac.
Even when he got killed, the song that was on his story, he's rapping about how he got killed, the exact way that how it happened in the song.
Really,
it was on his story when he died. Yeah, I mean, I think he posted that little snip too. But yeah,
do you believe that a lot of rappers speak things into existence?
I don't believe in that shit. Yeah, no.
You don't?
I think you still hurt behind everything that happened.
I just don't believe in speaking into existence. This shit already playing out, man. God got all this shit written out already in my eyes. I don't feel like he is questioning what he gonna do with our life as we live. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't even really believe in karma. I know so many bad people that got so much good shit.
Dude, what about you just said you got thousands of songs that he done. You have, how many projects can you foresee putting together? And are you the one that's doing it, or how does that work? Because when one dies, family and all of them start to tripping. I don't know if you experienced this, but I've talked to a lot of people who go through things which they hurt.
So you're saying who owns the rights? Yeah,
like who's going in there talking? Because he got a deal. So certain people with a deal, you got to deal with the company.
I mean, right now he was with Atlantic, and I think Cinematic was like facilitating everything. He had a lot of leeway in his situation. They not really too strict on that. I think Poe puts together the album, which is his manager. He the one who picked out the February 23 lineup, which was his biggest album. And he just calls me and says, "Hey, we need these songs. Let's get a mix and master and send it into the label." That's basically the whole process. It ain't no, I don't argue with his family or nothing like that. I don't know where the money going as far as his sales.
He didn't have no kids in him. Did he have kids?
He did have a kid. Yeah.
Okay, so he probably looking out for his kid. Hopefully,
I don't speak on.
Yeah, because you never.
You know what I'm saying?
You never met his kids.
Oh yeah, I know his whole family.
Okay, so you did. You knew.
How many children did he have?
I'm close to JayDaYoungan, bro. Like that's my dog. You feel me? But he just had one kid. He had another one on the way, but I think I saw him happen, and the baby just ended up not living.
Really?
Yeah, that was right before he died.
Really?
Right before he died, yeah.
So he probably could have a good documentary or a good story about it.
He was just about to do one. I'm writing a movie right now. He was gonna be in the movie. I ain't had a chance to put him on my podcast.
Wow.
Like, I had started all this stuff when he was in jail, like my podcast, my mic video, like.
What's the name of your podcast?
The Music Playground.
Okay, the Music Playground. Okay.
And I was gonna put him on it and all that stuff, bro.
What inspired you to start a podcast?
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm horrible with these cameras. So I feel like if I do my own podcast, like I could start getting away from the camera shot shit. So I just started my own. And then like,
how did it work?
It worked good, yeah.
It helps.
Yeah, me and Dub G, Big How, we just talk about what we got going on, but I didn't have a lot of platforms reaching out to me either. We in Mississippi, bro. People really ain't reaching out to Mississippi like talking about. You got to really be making some huge noise. So I was like, man, I'm gonna just start my own podcast and kind of tell them what I got going on myself. Yeah.
Wow, did you ever get to meet David Banner?
Nah,
never met David yet.
Nah, my cousin bought a beat from him though. Whenever he had a record label, and I had the track outs to the beat. So like I even learned stuff from that. You know what I'm saying? Like from David Banner.
So think about it. You Mississippi, you got Alabama, you got Texas, you got the southern states. You got, I don't know, man. I be having struggle trying to. But South Carolina, they say they country, but I be looking at how they position. I'm sorry, but if you think about it, it makes sense when you think about it. But they still the South.
Sound like Pimp.
Oh, I guess I don't know.
He was in Atlanta when Pimp said Atlanta wasn't the South.
I know you.
Boy, that was
crazy. I done had them stories on here.
Oh man,
I can imagine.
We was in Atlanta, and I didn't wear it, but 17 full UGK regalias. Yeah, while we in Atlanta, in the studio. Man, we was in the studio when that thing aired on the radio. Yep.
And when you walked outside, what did people say to you?
They not feeling. They ain't going down like that.
They say Miami's the South too. I've heard some people.
Miami is the South. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying the way it's positioned. But at the end of the day, I was just saying that to say, do you feel like, you know, with the way things are positioned and the way you guys scale, you guys are scaling like crazy. You guys are doing music, being recognized within your own realm, like you said.
We got a chitlin circuit.
And nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like you basically go platinum. You could go gold. You don't need nothing. You could do it.
Artists that do it all the time right now.
But what do you think when they say, like when they were calling Migos like the mumble rappers and stuff like that, just because we from the South and they up on the East Coast? You see what I'm saying?
To me, that's just us again hating on somebody. That's all it is.
I agree with that, but I think it's the different dialect too. Like me and you talk different than we go up there. You know, I go up there a lot.
But still, like, past the dialect, you should still be proud to know the black man winning. Like, why are you getting upset because he's rapping in a different pattern than you to the point where you don't like Southern rap? That's weird to me.
You and Ice-T I had an interview with Ice-T, and Ice-T was talking about culture, and he says the different cultures are just because you're from the South and you speak a little different. Yeah, we just had this conversation.
I'm saying, and so since I speak a little different, I'm doing it different than you up there. You don't like Southern rap. To me, that's weird.
That's kind of weird.
To me, New York talk different than us, but there's plenty of people I like up there.
Yeah, who do you like in New York?
Fabio hard.
Fabio, you listen to, and he's like, yeah, he hard. He hard.
I ain't gonna lie, Scarlett hard too though.
Yeah, Scarlett going crazy.
She scares me, right?
She going crazy. Have you seen her? She got a scar on her lip.
Yeah, you told me.
I showed you that. Yeah, Scarlett going in.
But I respect that she used her deficiency as a benefit, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because then she know people gonna talk about it anyway, so might as well.
She can rap too. She ain't just spitting them bars.
No, she's 100% New York. That's what they love about her. That's what they do. Yeah, she's 100% New York. The way she talk, the slang, the beats, the reverb they put on the songs, like it's all New York.
Do you think, because what's been happening lately in New York and on the East Coast, well, New York especially, it's been the women rappers that's been scaling more than any men over the last 5 to probably 7 years.
Yeah, women doing their thing.
Am I right?
Yeah, women doing their thing.
You got Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, you got all these different women, right? Remy Ma, like the women is pretty much, and Young M.A., they holding it down for New York.
Well, you know, I don't know. The guys rapping the New York stuff is a little different. Like I can see New York getting into it, but like, it's hard to get that New York stuff into the clubs and stuff.
It never was.
You feel
it never was.
But the females don't just be on that sound.
No, they mixing in the South. They mixing.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. What you about to say?
Earlier we were talking about the South, the North, all of that. How do you feel about, or do you agree with the statement that says, like, example, BET Awards and stuff like that, that they don't really recognize like a lot of Southern rappers, Southern, entertainers and so forth?
I didn't know they didn't.
Who have you seen them recognize?
I ain't watched the BET Awards in years.
Me neither.
I'm just saying, like,
no, it was just brought to my attention when I started thinking about it. I was like,
When you think about what you're saying is like when you think about some of the ones that scale down here, like,
yeah, there's so many great.
I used to say this. I would always say this, like, and its reason is because of the positioning, right? Mm-hmm. You'll see a Papoose on say the Breakfast Club, but you never seen DeRoe on there. He a platinum artist.
Ain't that crazy? Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
They be looking out for their own kind.
And ain't nothing wrong with, we just have to look out for our own kind. Shout out to DeRoe. He'll be here this weekend. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm.
I had just talked to him last time I was here. We were supposed to lock in the studio, but I had a lot going on.
Man, I love to hear you. Y'all got some stuff together already?
No, that was gonna
y'all
be
need
our
to get
first
it
time.
together, man.
That was gonna be our first time. Yeah.
Tell me about how important KLC was to your career, or has been.
That's big, bro. And then for the fact, like, he still supports me right now.
That's my boy. Like, he gonna do it. He gonna do it.
And it's just cool to have that in your corner, like, for the past 20 years. Like, bro, keep going. You doing your thing, bro. Keep going. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you need for some advice or something, call me, but just to have somebody like that in your corner over these years, that's inspiring right there. And
he gonna do it, bro.
Yeah, just to know that he knows that I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember staying the night by this dude's house. I remember when him. He was recording the Soulja Slim and the BG album. I remember hearing songs on that album before it ever came out. All kinds of. I remember walking in his house and seeing the plaques that went all the way to his roof. It's like, one day that's gonna be me. You feel me? Yeah.
So you say you've been doing this for 3 generations now.
I'm in my 3rd. Yeah.
And a lot of beats that you have produced have been very, very successful. Many people can't say the same. So how do you stay so relevant and keep producing beats after beats after so many years?
To me, I think it's the piano. And that's just me, because a lot of people nowadays, they just piecing stuff together on the beats. They go sample something and then, put a little drum together and send it off to their homeboy. Their homeboy do the hi-hats and then the other dude do a snare. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I learned how to play the piano, it just kind of like opened up my mind to like endless amount of loops and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having to wait for the next hottest sample or something like that, I could just go down and
create
play. Create what I need to create, and from there, I've noticed that the only thing that separates the beat is between generations is the drums. That's it. It's just the drums. That we got the same piano. The piano ain't changed in hundreds of years. The guitar ain't changed. I'm saying they're the same instruments. You just putting them over different types of drums. Like the 808 changes, the bass changes. If you can keep yourself up to date with what's in, and then also make new stuff that ain't thought of, you can stay relevant. I don't have a beat that collects dust on my computer at all.
So how versed are you at playing the piano? From 1 to 10.
Scar Storage.
Not at all. Not at all. But my brother, my younger brother, the one that I inspired, he way better than me at piano.
Really?
Way better. See, what happened to me was, remember I told you I played for church?
Yeah.
Once I made that first beat, it was a rap on learning this instrument to play live. Now I'm learning the instrument just to make beats.
So you don't have to be like really versed to.
No, you just have to know it. You got to be able to hear what goes together. Okay. If you can't hear the notes, because like certain keys, they just don't go together, and people do that all the time, and they'll put the stuff in there. I'll be hearing it all, but you just gotta, I'm really good at piano. I used to play for church and stuff like that. I'm just saying my brother and Scott Storch stuff is better. They
John Legend.
Yeah.
Scott Storch. You don't know who Scott is?
Yes. I heard the name.
That Dre beat. Guess Who's Back?
All of them. I think Dre had him on payroll like $5,000 a week.
Yeah, that was his boy.
And he'll come play all the keys on top of it.
Top 3 producers, man, all time.
You said you do it.
Top 3 producers of all time.
Name your top 3 producers of all time.
Any genre.
The ones that inspire me the most.
Top 3.
KLC.
Hey, that's my boy right there, man.
Drummer Boy Fresh.
Drummer Boy, he up there on the wall with me.
Manny Fresh.
Manny Fresh always jumps somewhere.
That's what my boy said. You remember in New York, the one Andre say you can't get around what he did.
I got other producers that inspired me along the way, like Just Blaze. When I heard that, when I heard that Welcome to New York City, man, to me that was one of the coldest beats I ever heard at the time, bro. Welcome to New York City. So like, stuff like that inspired you to get in the studio and try to make something just as cold. But Manny Fresh, KLC, I had just moved down here in '96, so man, they was on flame, and like Cash Money No Limit was like
crazy. That's one of them your 2 top groups.
96 to 99, like yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say
Top the record like the South had to recognize
my favorite album was
them.
Guerrilla Warfare.
Okay.
Guerrilla Warfare.
Okay.
Like,
Is there a
probably,
beat that you? I know you still have to answer to your top 3, but is there any beat that you've
Yeah, I already
ever?
answered
it.
All of them?
Yeah.
Oh, is there any beat that you've ever heard that gives you goosebumps? Like every time you hear it, you just get like goosebumps because it's that good.
maybe the first time I heard it, but not every time.
Yeah, which
What
one?
was
That, who that? Shorty Red on the track.
Yeah. Boy, that strip club and Strokers. And Strokers, man. That Strokers, man. I was at Strokers when I heard that, man.
And the fucking bass come down.
Boy,
I said,
ain't that who that?
yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Shorty Red on the track.
Man, Shorty Red a hard nigga, man.
I liked it that oh, they want song, ain't that cold? Man and Fresh made that beat. That beat was
That
so
old
hard.
go stupid. Man and Fresh ate that
And
old.
people still use that right now.
Your boy, Yellow Beezy just used it. These boy used that one.
What is the most played beat? Like not played, remade beat ever?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know.
Probably can Google it, but
The most remade beat.
yeah, like even it could be even something from back in the days because yes, people create new stuff, but they get inspired by something old and add it into it.
I don't know. I have seen a couple songs.
It just came to my mind. I was wondering.
Your list
like,
was
what
biased as hell because when you start doing that, I started thinking about Kanye, man.
Yeah.
And my boy, I interviewed Malik Yousef here. Them niggas, man.
Malik Yousef.
He be with Kanye.
Oh, okay.
Them niggas is, like you got your thing. I'm just saying, there's some cold niggas out here,
It's
man.
crazy, man.
Man, hey, listen, man. This serious, bro. Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
it's serious. Like you got some Timberland. I gotta give him his props.
Yeah.
And Pharrell, you got when you start going around the whole world, United States.
I was a fan of Pharrell and them creativity, but like I like to hear that music when I make a beat. There's just a bunch of robot sounds. and
Yeah,
shit like
it was
that. I like
nerdy.
I like to hear that music though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Even Timbaland had the music in there. He might have some crazy little sounds in there, but he gonna hit you with them strings and them chords and all that stuff like that. Neptunes would too, but
What did you think when you heard KLC fuck them other niggas? That beat.
Yeah, bro, I was jaw dropped. I remember that.
You like what the hell?
I remember that. Yep.
It's stuff like that you remember. Like
Speaking of that, Mr. Magic, I was recording. I was doing his album when he
before he passed.
he died on his way to me.
Wow.
He was on the way
Was
to
it
my
a-
party.
He had a wreck.
Him and Roy Jones was my special guest judges. I was producing the Body Headbanging Volume 2 at the time. And I was calling Magic all night. I'm thinking he stiffed me. I'm like, man, they wouldn't charge me nothing. I was working on the album. So I'm calling him all night, man. Next thing I know, Roy Jones called me crying.
So you heard that same night.
Yeah, I'm thinking he stiffed me, bro. Like, but now, I'm at the hospital. We hadn't heard about the wreck or whatever, man. Bro, you know how that feel to have a boxing champion of the world call you crying in your ear?
Boy, that's crazy. So Roy Jones,
that was his best friend. Magic and Roy Jones, that's his best friend.
How did
Magic
you do
wife
it?
and Roy Jones' wife is best friends. She died
Wow.
Magic wife and him died.
too. Died at the same time. That was about 10 miles out of
They
my
had
city.
kids?
Yeah, she was in the car too. She didn't die. She broke her arm. Yep.
Imagine how she must have been dealing with it.
I like to-
Man, it was crazy, bro. Like that was a crazy time. He called me. I was at the hospital because they wouldn't let me go back there. I was trying to lie to him and say I was his brother. Police getting
So he was. Where was he at when he had that wreck?
like right outside of Lumberton. It was right by Hattiesburg, about 10-15 minutes.
Did they know
outside
what
Hattiesburg.
happened to cause him to wreck?
I heard a drunk driver ran him off the road or something. But
Yeah.
but the car blew up and everything. Like
The car blew up?
I think Magic, and this is just a story I've heard. I think Magic probably would have been straight. The daughter got thrown out the car, but I think Magic was still in the car or something like that, and it burnt up, and I believe he burnt it. And I don't know, but these are stories that I've been told over the years. I don't know the actual, you know what I'm saying. But I know that what I do know is they wrecked.
The only reason the daughter lived was because she got thrown out.
Probably. If the stories that they telling me, and these are like from family members and stuff here, you know, I get bits and pieces here and there. But if those stories are correct, yeah, because they said the car caught in flames.
Okay, and run me down on how Roy Jones calls you. He tell you, man, they had a wreck. We don't know.
We already knew about the wreck because we didn't know at first. All I know is I'm calling Magic. He ain't answering the phone.
Okay.
But then one of my partners has a police officer that's his partner. And he called and said, man, we got your boy up here at the hospital. He just got to a wreck. But never told us if he was dead or not. But it's crazy because it was probably the most successful party I ever threw. It was packed wall to wall. I'm talking about, I made some money off the party that night. They didn't even show up, bro.
Damn.
Roy Jones, he ended up getting called to Russia. He couldn't come. He had something with a fight. He had to, you know, he still works for HBO. So at the last minute, he told me he wasn't coming anyway. But Magic called him all night. He ain't answering. And, so then I had ended up talking to Roy. It was like still like 2 o'clock in the morning. Roy called me back like 4 something. And that's when he was crying. He just kept saying, man, he dead, man, he dead.
So he had already told you previously that you were in a wreck, but he just didn't know that he had died yet.
Yeah, we talked about him being a wreck. I think I knew about him being a wreck before Roy Jones.
Before Roy Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it happened right outside the city.
Oh, so
Yeah.
news
The police
travel.
officer, but then you drove. You went straight
Yeah,
there.
I went straight to the hospital once I found out.
Like 4 in the morning.
No, it was like 2. It was right after the club.
Okay, right.
We didn't find out because we stayed at the hospital for a long time, bro, like hours. Then Roy Jones finally called and told me he was dead.
Wow.
Wow, him and his wife. And the little girl was just in her room, probably bandaged up.
Yeah. So if you think about it, I told you I wanted to work with Soulja Slim because I was young and him and my cousin were best friends. I'm thinking I'm about to, you know, he got killed. Mr. Magic, Pimp C, JayDaYoungan. That's a lot, bro.
When you start thinking about it, working or being in the midst of these people, man, and it's like, dang, man. But Mr. Magic, man, he was hard on that. He could rap, dog. I love.
Man, we were putting together a tight ass project, bro. Cause you remember the body.
You didn't finish it.
We was 8 songs in. The Body Head Bangers Volume 1 is the one that had the I Smoke I Drink. So then Roy Jones was putting out a Volume 2. And got Magic and a couple other people and stuff. We was going to Magic House every day recording. Well, not every day, but every other week going down there recording and stuff like that.
Wow, man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Who would you now want to work with that you have not worked with? Because you have worked with so many people. Who could you make magic with?
Really, anybody, for real. Anybody want to work with me, I'm ready to work.
Ready to work.
You know, everybody always talk about Drake, but I'm like, I don't want
to. It'd be cool to work with Drake. It'd be cool to work with Drake, but I like to work with artists that let me put in my creative control too, cause I could write real good. Like I'm real good at writing. So like, not saying that you just need a ghostwriter, but you know, just don't just come in here and just have me hit and record. Like use me, like use all my tools and my keys. You know, my magic. Like let me mix your song, let me help you. You know what I'm saying? Like some people they just want to hit record. But
Have you worked with anybody other than rap?
Yeah.
Like who?
Yeah, the blues artists, a couple blues artists is local down there, R&B artists.
No country western?
Have I worked with a country western artist? Nah, I think it's one that records in my studio, but he records down there with my brother. My brother does most of the live music. He's a live musician.
Yeah.
So he plays the guitar and the drums and the piano.
Wow, he bad boy.
Man, he bad. And he can write too, bro. Like he super bad. Like he like a Tyler Perry times 10.
Damn.
When they find out about my brother,
It's a rap.
man, I ain't shit compared to my brother. I'm telling you, this my younger brother. He been growing up studying me. I could probably mix music better than him because he's just now really getting into a studio like mine. Like, cause he was living in Colorado, so he's doing more playing live. But now he's got a chance to be in the studio and create music, create songs and stuff like that.
But he don't sing or rap?
Yes, he does.
He does sing.
Man, that boy don't hit an off note. he don't hit off note. Period.
He sings. He doesn't rap.
A dog. No, he don't rap. No, it's gospel. He do gospel.
Oh,
he do
that's
like
dope.
pop. Not just gospel. He do pop. He do like jazz. You know what I'm saying? He don't do no rap at all.
That's good.
It's like we ain't in each other's lane at all. Like,
that's dope.
In each other's way.
But he'll bring you a different type of clientele to your studios.
Facts.
Which is dope.
He done recorded with a lot of people.
Man,
That's good.
I tell you, man, I appreciate you for coming on Boss Talk 101, man. Definitely enjoyed it. How can people get a hold of you if they trying to rock out with you?
Hit my Instagram, HeartBeatz ENT. It got the booking number in the bio, HeartBeatz ENT.
At the end of the day, if somebody, you know, had to go back and look at something you said and you wasn't painting a picture, what would you want them to remember about you?
How hard I work.
How
hard I work, bro. Because everybody down there knows how hard I worked. You see what I'm saying? Like, I was out the studio for 1 week, and that was my honeymoon in 22 years.
Wow.
Besides, maybe I might get sick and can't show up a day or something like that, which I can't remember a time, but I go to the studio every day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and there ain't too many people that's able to block out life and do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I didn't go have 1 million kids. I didn't go gangbanging and stealing cars and just, you know, just doing crazy. So you got to focus on what you want.
Man.
I got one more thing I wanted to ask. Because we don't just have adults watching. We be having some kids be watching too and stuff like that. And you never know. A child might be out here being abused by their father or stepfather or whoever. Or somebody's going off to foster care or just in a bad situation at home and watching it and feel depressed. What can you give them a word of encouragement? What can they do?
I mean,
because you were that kid at one point.
I don't even know what I did, bro. I just really just kind of just leaned on the music. Like, the music is what got me. And I ain't gonna lie, when I started playing the piano and when I moved down here, it's just like, find you something to do for one if you're a kid, you know, whether it's sports. I played 4 sports too, and then played music and stuff. So, you know, you just got to push through it. You know, it really is no cheat codes to it, bro. I done been through everything that you could think of before I was 11. Crazy house, all kind of stuff, bro. Like, before I was even 11 years old. And I was able to push through it, you know what I'm saying? So if I could do it, I'm pretty sure they can too. You just got to focus. Focus really the hardest thing to do, but it's the best ingredient to success.
And you didn't have nobody that was, cause you know, sometimes some people be like, well, this football coach, he took me under his wing, or somebody, you know, adult-wise helped motivate me. You did it by yourself.
I moved to Mississippi, I told you 3 years later, my cousin got drafted to the NBA,
right.
And he started the studio, but I think I was like 17 then.
Man, we love you, brother.
For sure.
Say, man, back. If you ever want to come back and you're pushing something out, or if some of them artists come from down there and me and you, because I locked your number in now.
For sure.
If it's artists coming up to Dallas that you know that's, you know, needing that recognition, that really put that work in like yourself. Because shout out to Dame Dash, who said, I'll never hustle harder for a man than he hustle for himself.
Facts.
So if you see somebody hustling like you hustling, then you say, hey, man, I'm gonna link you up with Boss Talk, man. Because like I said, we just like to show love to certain people, and that's why we so. It's kind of weird how we do it, because it got to be something there that means something.
I fuck with it.
Man, check it, man.
For sure.
It's been another great segment.
Appreciate y'all.
Boom, a Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.
And we out.